level 1 after the wall crush.
Oh my god!
Just jab the man!
That was so gross. I love the extra little delay on that last float, just to make it. It's like, yeah, you know what? This is a shimmy. You know, I am trying to throw bait you.
Right?
Yeah.
You know you're gonna take right.
How delayed is this tech? Oh, extra delayed? Bet. Oh my god, crisp.
Yeah, man. Just one of those situations, like you were saying before, man. Like, if there's one tool that Manon's gonna be able to have to utilize against Sim, jab this man, please. You got a couple of forward movement buttons. Your jab is really good. You can stop a couple of things, and it's not like you're gonna not, like, you know, end up behind and whiff jab by accident. So, like, as long as you hit it right, delay it right, able to jab him out of that teleport. So just, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things you gotta kind of go through. Again, the lab is important, and it's something that I've been taking into 2024. The lab is important. Let me go play this game a little bit more, lab out some stuff.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I sort of talked around this in the first match that we saw out of Demi Zarok. I feel as though they're still very much playing a one-player game. Yeah. I think the way that they're playing, they're not really being considerate of what their opponent wants to do. They're not establishing a layer 1 that lets them start to get their mix-up set up. They're just going right into trying to run their game, and that foundational stuff that you build your game on isn't present. So I think, yeah, you need to find those spots to be like, hey, you need to jab here to check him. You need to establish these things. Fighting games have rules, and those rules are frame data. And if you're going to let him keep breaking the rules, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. If you don't know the rules, you're going to be caught flailing and making mistakes. Like sweeping in a spot where you're only +2.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things that, like, a lot of these, you know, a lot of the younger players that are just learning the game or having fun, or just, you know, even playing it casually, they don't have an understanding of that. It is very important, in my opinion, to kind of just take a look at what moves do in the lab, even if you don't have, like, know how to even reach frame data. Like, certain things that look that certain way, once you look, like, does it look like I can be able to stop this? What can I stop this? Let me press this button. Let me press this button. Let me press this button. Like, again, like I said, that's the most important thing. Yeah, there's certain rules you got to learn, and yeah, it's frame data, but there's another way to, like, kind of, like, utilize that. What looks like it could be safe, or what isn't, or what is safe, or what is.
And I think by and large, you know, Street Fighter V got a little bit of criticism sometimes for being very much like a fact-driven game. It was a frame data-driven game. You needed to know the frames and how the turn taking was being micromanaged after every block. Street Fighter 6, I think you can largely compartmentalize things into every character has 1, maybe 2 tools that are plus. And even then, they're only a little. Otherwise, everything's minus unless they flash green. And the question is it I take my turn minus, or is it I punish you minus? Those are sort of the categories. And you're talking about the feel of it. I think by and large, a lot of the things feel largely as negative as they actually are. Yeah. So other than a couple of, like, really tricky spots where you'll see weird setups or moves that are usually minus being put behind a DR, or like a burnout plus DR situation where the frame data just gets completely out the water, you can really take frame data as very broad chunks in this game.
Right.
Which I think is a welcome addition coming out of 5, where, like, if you didn't realize that, like, one tool was actually, you know, +4 instead of +3, you know, it made a difference for this matchup for this reason at this range, and now you can't jab.
Yeah, I absolutely ran into a lot of that and not realized it back in the day. And nowadays, I would say with this game, but, like, I guess it's a little more casual friendly is what I want to kind of say about that. For that reason, where you got to go off the field of things. Sometimes that's how I feel about a lot of different things. Like I call myself a casual player because I'm probably going into the brands. I got a podcast called A Casual Fighter, but it's just one of those things where like if you're gonna like play this game, you're gonna play this game to compete. There are certain things they have to be knowledgeable for, but the first thing you got to go into is go into the training mode and say, hey, what does this do, and how can I stop it? And it's simple as that. And I definitely want to see a little bit more from that and next time. So hopefully be able to get that going. Well, yeah, man, we're gonna.
You do know that in the middle of that,
right.
you said the magic trigger word in the middle of that, right?
Oh, what was the magic trigger word? I think I missed what I said.
You said casual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody somewhere is like, that means it's bad. But what I gotta say, I do think.
No. Yeah.
I've thought this for a while. I think this is true of like lowering the execution barrier for things too. I think the sooner one's hands can execute on the idea, the sooner you can meaningfully use the move you want to use. And it means that you're actually engaging in the mental element of this game, which is why we all really love it. I do appreciate games that, you know, have high execution. I appreciate that there are characters that, you know, even in the most accessible games, sometimes there's characters that have, you know, this weird execution thing to them. And for people that like that, that's fantastic. If you want to, if part of the fun for you is knowing that you're operating at this, you know, dexterity level to be able to bring the optimal stuff from this character to life, but you don't need to in order to be meaningfully engaging with the game in an intellectual level.
Right. Yeah.
But that's just me. And I also don't have the best hands in the world. So maybe I'm just making excuses to make myself feel better.
Yeah, it's fine. I have zero reaction, so this is fine. I'm hearing a mess around. Like, yeah, I see it coming, but yeah, it's like I'm a sloth. So I understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that you met is a big trigger. It's like, it's like going in, and if you have a knowledge of a move, or you have a knowledge of what this move does and what it can do, how you can extend to it, it's so cool. This is a great feeling to learn. So. I will say this as well. Playing in a bunch of different tournaments, I feel like that is also a really good experience, because especially when you have a format like this, where you have a ladder, where you're playing all these different like levels of play, and I think it's really cool. Like that's being put out here every week for your fingertips to be like, you know what, this is actually really fun, and this is actually really fun for me to learn how to win and actually win and go far. I want to do this more. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like that's one aspect of it, going into the lab and do that, but it's also the aspect of like, continue to play in these tournaments, man. Like it also garner you a lot of experience, so you can be really upset. Because I think I saw a thing. I saw a thing like the Evo put out on their YouTube channel where they're talking. You know, it was had Tasty Steve kind of go through everything, and one thing that he picked out. Yeah, he was saying like, I played in the tournament once, and I said, I was talking all the smack, and I was saying like, man, I'm gonna beat you, right? And he ends up losing. He ends up getting smoked and laughed out of the building. He got laughed out of the building.
Oh no!
And he said never again. So he ended up going back. Maybe like a couple weeks later, ended up getting second at their locals in Colombia. It's like, and so there you go, man. Like it's taking that experience and having the fun with the game. By playing in all these different tournaments, and be able to go in and like find that drive and passion to say like, no, I'm actually really good in there. I just proved it. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about the competitive spirit at the end of the day. It's the thing that is unifying all of us, right? Is like we're in this because at the fundamental core of fighting games, it is a contest. It is a competition. And that shared spirit of competition, and that it's a little silly, like the story mode is very much like they're trying to present the story mode as though like the quest for the journey for true strength is never ending. All you can do is keep trying and keep battling new people. But you know what? It's true. And you're exactly right. The way you do that is you keep attending your locals, you keep entering these tournaments. Like Dekar, who is on stream once again here. Marshall on the other side. Smash FGC is the clan tag for Marshall. Interesting.
All right.
Okay, so let's make a game out of this one. Based on how Marshall plays, I think we both need to guess who they main in Smash.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what character they be able to play.
Okay.
Got
Counter DI.
Point. All right. Let's see the sauce. Okay. No, we're keeping it simple. Okay. I feel that.
All right. Sway, shimmies, medium kick, a little bit too far away for the axe kick. Oh yeah, that's an easy pickup on the OD fireball. Such a strong tool.
Wow, we let the whole entire. Normally, a lot of players don't let the entire.
I'm mashing start.
I'm mashing start the whole way through too. Nowadays, like my man let the whole thing rock. Like you don't see all of this animation.
Right, H fireball coming out from Marshall, who's managing to get a fair bit of leeway in how they're moving around on the screen. Oh, yeah, okay.
And yeah, kind of going back to what you were saying, like playing the game, like I cannot tell. Like what do you expect though? It's 90 characters in that game. So
that's true. I would hope that somebody could posit a guess. What's funny is there's very likely we won't find out unless I ping them in Discord, which honestly I might because I'm curious.
Yeah, indeed. But man, like the way they're kind of moving and playing, they're playing pretty solid actually. Just like letting things kind of like come to the test. Like if there's a hit, you could have got a lot more on that punish though.
Absolutely. Oh no, parry pumps and he miscalculates where the fireball is going to end up. Round going to Dekar, a slower one here, but Marshall getting the worst out of it in the end.
Ah man, that was a well-placed slide going under the slasher.
We've committed a lot of drive gauge for this positional advantage here. No, that perfect parry into back throw more or less clinches this position here for Dekar. You can do the same thing we did in that previous match and try to bait out a bad utilization of drive gauge. Oh, if that pickup went into level 3, it'd be dead. No, whip punish.
Definitely expecting a little bit more of those double jabs, but I think, man, it's crazy because Marshall was like playing like they don't want to super overextend. Wow, what a knockdown.
Oh, wake up level 3 out of Dekar. That's going to close that one out for the first game.
Yeah, I definitely want to see a little bit more risk taking from Marshall because it was like got a couple of jabs here or there. They can get the cancel to come out and go to the drive rush to be able to single the combo. A couple of different things where he had like certain pickup moves off drive rush hit, punish counter hit, and nothing came out of it afterwards. So I kind of want to see a little bit more risk taking.
Yeah, I think my read on Marshall right now is I think that first round, Marshall made it very clear that they have a really solid grasp of the core of DJ, the core of the game, you know, how they need to be approaching a matchup. I think the difficulty they're finding is Dhalsim is so unique in the way that he controls the screen that a lot of the generic ways that you can try to play don't apply. So I think finding those unique answers is where I feel like Marshall is lacking right now.
Agreed.
Oh, smoked.
Completely. I think Dekar has kind of figured out like that game plan specifically that you laid out. It's just going in and like doing a really good job of just like doing a bit of a keep away game, but also just keeping it close to the chest and be able to get some of these buttons that you need. But very button heavy.
All right. Okay, teleport. The jab check comes out. Oh, counter hit after that. That's intriguing. I wonder what Marshall tried to do. Jab checks come out.
I tried to go for a shimmy there, and man, Dekar is like smelling everything that Marshall wants to come out with. We are not Marshall tonight.
The next hit clinches it here for Dekar. We reset back to neutral with that drive reversal. Oh, nice clip.
Okay.
I like that Marshall is keeping that down charge ready for any of these errant situations. It's like, yeah, you know what? I am done trying to engage with you in the air. Tell me you blocked. Parry. Oh, yeah. I got so scared for a second.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a nervous moment. That is the most win animation ever. It just lays on you. Come on, bro.
Okay, it is still set point for Dekar.
And I think Dekar is not going to be super deterred in like spending 2 bars. It was just an option to wake up with and kind of mess around.
Yeah.
Yes. Game and a half up on them.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like you have a rounds to play with, but you only commit the 2 bars instead of the 3, so you know you still have a resource moving forward. It was a very calculated risk. I mean, I keep saying everything you're doing is a decision. That was a well-reasoned decision. Perfect parry. You were talking about that parry rush and how important that is. That's why you value DJ as highly as you do, but it's not going to matter as Dekar is able to keep that corner locked down in place. 2 games up over Marshall. No replay on that one. Doc wants to go right back to us.
Yeah, Did you really want to see a replay of just him getting punched?
So JNV11 in chat says classic Dhalsim has the highest CFN win rate in master rank on the new statistics page. So for those of you who maybe don't know, Capcom, I think it's like Buckler Boot Camp, I think is the name of it.